This is the Brew World Order Podcast.
Welcome to the Brew World Order Podcast. I'm Mike Curtin, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you should definitely do it. I mean, come on now. This is episode number 38, and in this episode I sit down with John Patrei of Phantom Brewing Company in Hartford, Connecticut. John talks to me about how challenging the production side of things can be, how he had to convince 7 businesses to shut off their electric for a whole day, and how they came up with the name for Phantom Brewing. Well, it turns out it comes from an old folklore in Connecticut about a flying ship. I'm starting to wonder about this ship. Is this the same old wooden ship named Diversity? Because if so, I'm coming aboard. Kicking up my feet, opening a beer, and checking out this podcast. And I hope you do the same. Hey guys, I'm Mike Curtin. This is the Brew World Order Podcast, and today I'm with John Patrei of Phantom Brewing Company in Hartford, Connecticut. Back in 2012, Bo Cosio bought Beer and Winemaker's Warehouse in Hartford, Connecticut. Around the same time, John Patrei started to get into homebrewing. Bo had many years' experience with homebrewing and even helped some local breweries during their startups. John visited Bo's shop one day to pick up some things he had needed for a brew day, and while John was there, the two got to talking and quickly became friends. Over time, John continued to homebrew and even entered some homebrew competitions. When John and Bo would get together at Bo's shop, Bo would throw some ideas back and forth as they sipped and critiqued their latest creations. At some point, they decided to make that daydream of owning a brewery into reality, and that started their journey towards opening Phantom Brewing Company. They officially opened their doors to the public in April of 2020. And John Patrei is here with me today. John, how's it going?
Hey, how are you? It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. Thanks for being here. So, quick question. Where did you come up with the name Phantom from?
Well, it's actually a Connecticut folktale about a phantom ship that left the New Haven harbor in the 1600s. It's a kind of a folklore story. And it was full of people and goods, and it was sailing for England, I believe. And there was a huge storm, and it mysteriously disappeared. And people thought they saw the ship flying around in the sky. Actually, the ship never returned. So they called it the Phantom Ship of the New Haven Harbor. It kind of goes along with the folklore or the folktale about the sea hag from New England Brewing Company. So the sea hag apparently haunts the New Haven Harbor to this day, and that's why they named one of their most famous beers that. So we decided to take the ship part off of it and just become Phantom Brewing, and we kind of branded a logo and a ghost to go along with it. So that's kind of how we came up originally with the name from a Connecticut folktale.
Very cool. And I know you said you opened your doors in April of 2020. Now, I know there was like a build-up before that, years prior, that you guys decided to do this. But what was it?
We were talking for a couple of years about it.
Right.
And, kind of getting the funds and the information together.
Right. So what was it like to actually open your doors during the pretty much height of the pandemic?
It was insane, man.
Yeah.
It'll be a great story to tell, and it always is.
I'm sure.
To go only for a month, before they started letting us have people outside only. We opened with a line of cars, 100 cars deep, and we were just, putting them in people's trunks. So we were filling crowlers, 32-ounce crowler cans, and we were taking online orders, and we were having free sales and selling out in the beginning. It was really intense for a little bit there. It was thousands and thousands of crawlers for the first month. And then things kind of chilled out, but it was a little bit of a whirlwind. We were spending a lot of our nights, filling crawlers and stocking the fridges and then fulfilling orders. It was a great operation. We had a bunch of family helping out, and my kids were in there too, and helping us package everything up. And it was great. It was a great response. It really kind of kicked us off. It propelled us off into a great start. So it could have been obviously better. It's tough to keep momentum up in a pandemic, but we eventually got the tap room open with tables spread out. We can hold about 35 people in there and about another 25 outside, just because we're a smaller space. And basically with everybody spaced out. So, we ended up, we've been following a lot of restrictions and distancing and rules and, and things like that. And it's been crazy. It's been awesome though.
I can imagine.
We're living the dream,
Yeah, for sure. Definitely got to be innovative in these times. So, what was that like aha moment for you and Bo when you finally decided yeah, let's go for this?
It came down to funding, really. There's just two of us partners, 50-50. So just putting together our money. What really decided to make us go was we were going to start much smaller than we did, but a local brew system became available that we really had to jump on to give us 7-barrel capacity. So
right.
we said, hey man, let's do it. We have an opportunity to get a system locally and save on shipping costs and brand new costs. We were buying secondhand, and we knew these guys pretty well. It was really the perfect storm. And then we just had to buy a couple fermenters after that.
Right.
And, it kind of came together when we found that brew system. We just started remodeling the place right away, and we tore the whole place up. And we kind of have the homebrew shop and now like a side or a corner of it. And the brewery is kind of in the middle, and our tap room's in the front. So we had to do a ton of work on the space. We rent that space in the building we're in, and get the drains put in and everything like that, and then electrical and a lot of inspections and things like that, and then we were able to get going. But yeah, it was really that brew system that came at the right time when we were looking for one, and that was like, boom, let's go.
Right, the Kickstarter to get it going.
That was in June 2019.
Right,
and that's when we started tearing everything up. We had already applied for our TTP license and things like that at that point.
Right.
But that kind of propelled things into high gear.
So during that whole process of from the start of realizing yeah, we're going to do this to the point where you open your doors, what was the most challenging thing for either you alone or both of you together?
The biggest challenges were the construction. The accounting and the paperwork and the processes. We had a lot of guidance from area breweries and friends in the industry. Like, here's what you got to do. Here's the steps. We talked to a few lawyers, and we really, for that end of it, But man, the construction roadblocks, just working with our space and tearing it all up and getting into the floor and getting into the electrical, and we had to have power company come out and change the transformer for the entire building. So we had to shut down 7 businesses for a half a day.
Jesus.
That were multi-million-dollar businesses. So we had to go over and we had to convince these guys to shut down for electrically for a whole day.
Right.
And that was, we brought in a massive generator. We switched everything over. It was really a blessing that everyone in the building kind of was able to work with us and allow us to do that. But I would say that the construction was really just intense. You know, there was 2 of us plus buddies plus professionals trying to coordinate timing and everything and working together. So I think the biggest hurdle is, who's going to build it and what are the roadblocks to the space you're in,
Right. Yeah.
It was a blow finding out our electrical was not up to par because we had 3-phase electric in there and didn't realize that only came with a certain amount of wattage and amperage because of the pole, because of the transformer at the pole.
Gotcha.
So just adding that transformer and waiting on them and badgering the power company and trying to get on their schedule it took 6 months to get on their schedule. I mean, that really was we finished everything else. It basically electrically was it. As soon as that thing was able to get that power box for our brew system was able to get plugged in, we were ready to go, and that took the longest.
Gotcha. So, where did you guys go about finding the capital to fund your business?
Capital. I put my home. This is a family business. I put up my home. Bo's. We just did loans, man. We did home equity loans, and there was no business. There's no business loans. It's all just our personal property, and it was a big risk trying to convince our families to
right.
go for it.
Yeah.
We doing it most of the work ourselves with some friends that we know, plumbers and electricians and professionals that were able to barter the work, and I think we saved tons of money just doing it all ourselves. But no, the capital all came from us, middle class, not rich at all, just really putting in the extra hours and the sweat, and we're just paying off loans, personal loans for this thing. So.
Right. So basically, a lot's on the line. So basically, it's got to work. That's it.
It's got to work, man.
It's got to work.
That's it. I'm a teacher, actually. So I'm a teacher, and Bo has the store. So the homebrew shop, and his wife is a professor. So there's household income. My wife works as well. So I teach. I'm a phys ed teacher locally, and I'm doing this on nights and weekends. And he's running a lot of the daily. He gets the days started, and I finish the days, and whether it's brewing or working in the tap room or whatever. There's just a few of us working this whole operation. So.
Right. So speaking of making it work, what do you think is a quality that you have that makes you a good business owner?
Oh, I don't know. I question. You always question yourself and your decisions and the routes you decide to go. And I just think putting my head down and committing and willing to do the physical labor, willing to do mentally just power through when you're working on no sleep and you're trying to manage your family, and I'm proud of the fact that I have a good hard work ethic,
right,
and can multitask, and just I'm working when I'm home, I'm on my computer when I'm with my family, I'm doing social medias, and then in addition to all the work, it's just, I would say, just being organized. We're pretty organized,
right?
And we're just like everyone else. I don't think there's anything special. It's just a willingness to master your craft, as well as sell it in the most unique and innovative way to sell your product. So that's really where we try to excel, So.
Gotcha. Yes, I mean, besides the whole COVID situation, because obviously that's been huge. What do you think's been one of the hardest adjustments you've had to make since opening your doors?
Production. How much to produce? How little to produce? Holy crap! That beer sold faster than we thought.
Right.
Or, man, that beer didn't sell at all. Or, what? How much should we be producing? I mean, it's friggin' COVID. It's one weekend we're slammed, we don't even expect any customers, and then the next weekend we're dead, and we got food trucks, and we expect hundreds of customers, and we get 50% of that. So
right.
It's this production planning is a nightmare. I mean, we're starting to self-distribute in the area.
Okay.
We're trying to get a good balance between a few exclusive places that carry our product and how much we should be keeping in our tap room. Tap room sales are slow everywhere, so everybody's distributing now.
Right.
So just how much to make, what kind of styles to make, where we're going to place our product. The production levels have been quite the challenge.
Right.
You know, the biggest one.
So was there any moment for you that kind of stands out that made you kind of realize like there was a defining moment for you that where things were kind of like going in the right direction, or that have been going in the right direction?
We'll know now when tax is coming through, but I think, when we look at the year end, when we look at the sales year end and we look at the size of the place we are and what our operating costs are, are we, how quickly we've made some money. And so we're seeing, I'm almost happy that we're not 3 years old right now, because we would most likely be in the middle of an expansion. We would most likely have taken out another loan and be trying to double our production. We would most likely be in a situation where we're paying to grow. And we know a lot of our friends that are in that situation that are not, they were expecting the revenues, and they're not getting the revenues they were expecting.
Right.
So a lot of projects are on hold. So the defining moment is the fact that we're not out of business, and we're putting away a little bit of money, and we're gaining capital monthly, and the lights are on. We're not trending in the wrong direction. We're not fading. We're not. We didn't come out with a head of steam and then things faded away. We're above water. So it's like when December 31st came and we did it, and we're definitely going to make it to a year of operation, without going out of business. I mean, that's a defining moment in the middle of a pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
So we always tell ourselves, if this is the bottom, the ceiling, if this is the worst it's going to be, it can only get better from here.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
I was mentioning before that Bo had helped numerous breweries to get their startup. Was there anybody in the beer industry that has inspired you specifically?
Oh yeah, definitely. All of our buddies around here have been just a great resource. We can call anybody and get advice, and Bo and I take little trips around and visit these breweries regularly just to check in with everybody. And we do a lot of collaborations with them. But I would say the folks over at Alvarian Beer Company in New Britain, and the folks at Back East Brewing Company and Bloomfield Thomas Hooker Brewing, and Bloomfield, and Hog River. They're all willing. New Park Brewing, they're all willing to. They tell us what they do. They tell us where they order from. If we have a question about production or taxes or inventory, like, these guys are great. Everybody's family. So we Little House Brewing in Chester, Hop Culture Farm in Colchester. We just have a lot of support, and we're all kind of here for each other. Alvarian, we borrowed a lot of their equipment. We've been able to, if we need something here and there, fitting, measuring device, anything, everybody's willing. It's great. Bottle fillers, canners, things like that. So, definitely, it's been awesome just to work with the Connecticut Brewers Guild, Bill, and those guys. So, I mean, really, it's great. It's a great network, and we've been able to lean on a lot of different people.
Right, like a brotherhood, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
For sure.
I know things probably been. It's only been less than a year since you've been open, but has there been a time where you just need to kind of like a mental break from all this, or are you the type of person that just keeps going and you're good to go no matter what?
I'd say it's all just a balance. work and family. We give each other breaks, Bo and I. You know, if I can't be there for a day or he can't be there for a day, we cover for each other. You know, we have a couple bartenders and we can rely on as friends and things like that. So as far as vacations, I mean, not yet, but
right, yeah.
You know, you know, it's all about balance. You know,
yeah,
so
for
we
sure.
do get a chance. It's not overwhelming. We do have the opportunity to take it slow and kind of think things through and slow down when we need to. If we need to, hey, let's not release this beer this week. Let's wait another week. Let's take our time. Let's not rush things.
Right.
So, yeah, it does get, I mean, I have 2 jobs and, you know, it
right.
gets to be a lot, but
yeah, for
I'm
sure
that I'm confident if I want to go somewhere for a weekend or he wants to shoot away for a weekend or a week, even a week, we do well. We have a good support group with us, so it's just been awesome. It's great to be in the scene. It's great to be in the industry in Connecticut. It's rapidly growing. You know, it's been a fun ride for sure.
Right. So what was your gateway beer into the craft world?
I mean, way back, I would say like Rogue's Dead Guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Brooklyn Brown Ale.
Right.
60 Minute, Dogfish 60 Minute. Those are the beers that were my original love, you know, craft loves. Magic Cat number 9.
Right.
That beer.
Awesome.
So, Treehouse, man, that really, when I tasted it, Julius, when I went up there and waited in line, and I just thought, like, man,
yeah, Julius
this
is
world out there. I
yeah.
mean, they revolutionized this whole thing. I mean, that's the thing we're doing up here in New England.
Right.
So
yeah. Julius is great.
That one was really, and Hayes, man, Hayes is my favorite beer.
Yeah, that's a really good one too, for sure. For sure.
I would say once I realized like it's going there, like that piqued me. Like I'm kind of Bo's like. He loves the traditional styles, and he's mastered them. You know, he's mastered the cream ales, the Scotch ales, the Alps, the Browns. I mean, he's really a malt master.
Right.
And then for me, I come in with like the hazy, fruity stuff, the hazy stuff, the fruity stuff, the stouts, the adjuncts. I mean, that's what I'm all about, like those kinds of beers. So it's a good mix, like between the two of us. We have like a diverse base for making all different kinds of beers, but we really have to make these New England style beers for the people here. That's what they want.
Right, yeah. And they're really big right now.
That beer changed me, man, in 2013 or 12, or whenever I started getting into it.
Right.
When I tasted those beers, I was like, man, I got to do this. I got to make these. And that's when I started, you know, doing a lot of that, tinkering myself. So.
Right. So as you were coming up and home brewing, you say you started around like 2012-ish. I'm sure you have many years experience now. What is one home brewing tip that you would want to pass on?
Get your water right. Big time. Get your water tested. Figure out the alkalinity and figure out your chemicals.
Right.
And once you balance your water and fix your water wherever you are, well water, city water, once you master water, and then really you're golden. Temperatures too. You got to control your temperatures. Fermentation,
right? Of course.
Mash temperatures, fermentation temperatures. But get that water, man. Water science, and I don't even know all of it yet. We're still learning. I'm still learning.
Right.
So,
every day. Every day a little more, right?
Water and temperature. A lot of the other ingredients, there's a lot of different, ingredients you can tinker with as far as quality and where you get them. But no, if you master water and fermentation temps, you're golden. Gotcha.
So, what's next for your brewery? What does the future look like?
We're collaborating with area breweries. Those kinds of releases are very exciting.
Okay.
To come out with different beers with our name and other breweries' name on them. We love collaborating, and we just want to continue to grow in our space, in our area, in Hartford, and really get into the community. And once things pick back up and start opening back up, do a lot of community stuff for Hartford, community outreach, different things with small businesses in Hartford, Connecticut, because we love this city.
Right. Awesome.
We can't wait to start doing that kind of stuff, and for our own towns and our own, supporting our own industry up here in Hartford with the Yard Goats, with the Athletic, with the Wolfpack, with local groups, different things like that, and charity work. So that's really what I'm excited about getting into as far as this year is concerned.
Gotcha. So if somebody came to you and asked you for advice for opening their own place, their own brewery, what would you tell them?
Yeah. Save double the amount of money you think you need.
Yeah.
Everything, you just don't, there's never enough startup capital.
Right, yeah. Make sure you have more money than what you need.
Yeah, like at least 20% more. Like,
yeah, gotcha.
You may run your numbers and price out all your equipment and price out all your licensing and all your you may price all that out, the physical stuff, but there's the unforeseen. There's that repair once you dig into the floor. There's that roadblock of bringing in, another major thing once you uncover one thing in your space, and everything's so much money.
Yeah, sure is.
Get a lot of quotes if you're hiring, and then shop around if you're buying your own plumbing and electrical materials. Shop around.
Right.
Barter with people. Barter beer.
Of course.
Like basically, I had like a core group of friends that would really come through and dig something for me, or wheelbarrow a bunch of stuff for me, or the muscle work.
Right. Yeah.
And our place isn't state of the art. It's good looking. I mean, the tap room and everything's real cozy and it's good looking as it can be, but it's not like super high end construction. It's we're putting beer out there that meets the standards. Our building is code and standard, and we're proud that we built it ourselves. We're going to do improvements as we get more capital. We're going to, we have little projects and little things that we will start, updating as we go. But you can make it work, man. You can make it work and buy secondhand stuff and get friends to help you and get other things going that you wouldn't think that, things might appear that they cost more than they really did.
Right.
You have to be creative, You gotta really shop around for your materials and save money wherever you can.
Right.
Cold rooms and refrigerators and kegerators and tap rooms, and you just you got to really think about your space and your options, and every dime counts. Lawyers, accountants, insurance, you got to pay for all that. So
of course,
it could be as much as a piece of equipment in your brewery. So
right,
you got to account for all that as well. So
yeah, gets expensive, I'm sure.
It's not like opening a pizza shop.
No.
You're engineering, That's really, you're opening a factory.
Right,
and you got to think about a lot of different types of things.
Yeah, basically.
So much engineering involved. And, I just had a lot of people in looking at your space, giving you ideas, professional that have built, glycol loops and electrical systems, and just get their opinions before you start tearing everything up. And we've had 5 different people say 5 different things and 5 different ways to do things, and then we chose one of those ways to do it. So
right, yeah.
Before you just drop a bunch of money, because I can't tell you how many of my friends spent $50,000 on something, and they wished they had done that project differently. So really take the time.
Understood. Did you happen to have a funny story for us?
Yeah, as far as the brewery goes, we have a smaller hot liquor tank, so we have a 7-barrel hot liquor tank, but we always, when we're in the middle of brewing, we have to keep refilling our hot liquor tank as we brew, and we don't have an alarm on it. So we hit the valve, and the water starts flowing in, and we get doing a million other things, and I can't tell you how many times we had to sprint away from a customer or into the back when we start hearing water splashing all over the floor. But we've soaked the brew house floor plenty of times, overflowing the hot liquor tank because we forget to turn the valve off. But that's the worst thing that happens. It's not too bad.
So I have a little segment called Quick Fire 5. Yeah. 5 quick questions, beer related. Ready?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. One of your beers that you would recommend someone try?
The King Tut IPA. It's our flagship New England IPA. We carefully crafted a blend of hops and a malt bill that is nice and clean and smooth, and we're super proud of that. It's been our best seller.
Awesome. Favorite brewery other than your own?
I have a ton of favorites, but I'm going to go with my favorite. My favorite people in a brewery is my friends at Alvaria Beer Company. I love those guys.
Okay.
And they have great beer too, and I love them, and I love their beer, and I love their vibe.
Favorite style of beer?
Mine's New England IPAs, but I love lagers, man. So many good lagers out there.
Right.
So I love New England IPAs, but I only have like a few, one here and there, and I like to drink lagers and alt beers and cleaner styles for sure.
Right. Last beer that you drank that blew you away?
I'm going to go with the Decadent Strawberry Creamsicle. Decadent Ale Strawberry Creamsicle. I love that beer.
Okay.
I had it like 3 years ago, and I haven't had one since. But it's just one of those beers you taste and you distinctly remember.
Right. You have 1 keg of beer to hold you over for a 2-week quarantine. What beer are you choosing?
Our Hell Yeah Hellas Lager. Our in-house lager. I love that beer. So it's called Hell Yeah, and it's a Hellas Lager, unique style lager. And man, I could just crush that for days and days and days.
All right. Well, John, that's all I got for you, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm Mike Curtin for the Brew World Order podcast with John Patrei of Phantom Brewing Company in Hartford, Connecticut. Thanks, man. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to my interview with John Patrei of Phantom Brewing Company in Hartford, Connecticut. Whether you're passing through, you live in the area, or just visiting a friend nearby, you should definitely check him out. Give him a follow on social media while you're at it. Every other Sunday, I'll be releasing a new episode, so subscribe and you'll never miss one. Also, check us out on social media, because why not? I'm Mike Curtin for the Brew World Order podcast. You stay safe out there.